Hi there, I'm Logan Medish, and this is High Caliber History. Today I'm at Milestone Auctions in Willoughby, Ohio, taking a look at some of the firearms in their upcoming premiere sale on October 29th and 30th. Now, the guns we're looking at today, you may recognize the name, but you probably won't recognize the guns. The gunsmith is James Reid, and when most people think of James Reid, they think of this little guy here, the My Friend knuckleduster. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is that James Reid made more conventional firearms as well, which is what we're going to be looking at in this video. These guns are interesting for a number of reasons. We have to understand the time frame in which these guns are made. Now, Reid patents these guns in April of 1863, and that's at a time where a man by the name of Rollin White has licensed a patent to Smith Wesson on the bored-through cylinder. And that means that only Smith Wesson can make a revolver with a bored-through cylinder. Anyone else who wants to do it is going to find themselves in court and in a tied-up court battle that is not going to go their way. And so Reid was one of a number of gunsmiths in this time frame that was coming up with unique and innovative ways to skirt the patent so that they could create a gun that allowed you to have a bored-through cylinder without technically having a bored-through cylinder. And that's exactly what James Reid did with these revolvers here. And these are both known as the Model 4 revolver. They were available with barrel lengths ranging from 3 inches to 8 inches. And here we have a 4-inch model and an 8-inch model. And the way these guns worked was that they were considered to be a dual ignition system. When you got the guns, they had nipples that were screwed into the backs of the cylinders, which is common. That's how a percussion firearm works. But you'll notice that these are a little bit different in that you can't see the nipple sticking out of the back of the cylinder like you normally would. Instead, these are recessed completely flush with the face of the cylinder. So that means that the threads go a lot deeper into this cylinder. And what that allows is for the standard use of this gun as a cap and ball revolver in .31 caliber, where you put your loose powder and ball down the chamber, ram it home, put a percussion cap on the nipple, and fire it like a standard black powder revolver. However, if you take a nipple wrench and take the nipples out of the gun, you now have a bored-through cylinder, sort of. But you have a cylinder that is capable of firing .32 rimfire. Now that's significant for a number of reasons. One, .32 rimfire is a popular cartridge at the time, Smith & Wesson's Model 2, which is popular as a private purchase Civil War sidearm. That cartridge is readily available. And so you can take these revolvers and shoot them as either .31 percussion or .32 rimfire, both of which are readily available at the time when this gun comes out in 1863. And because the guns are sold with percussion nipples threaded into the backs of the chambers, it's technically not a bored-through cylinder. It kind of becomes one. Well, no, let's clarify. Yes, it actually really truly does become a bored-through cylinder once you unscrew the nipples. But in terms of the way patent law is written and the way things are being litigated in the 1860s with the Rollin White patent, this is actually a viable way for them to skirt that patent and to be able to sell a cartridge revolver without actually selling a cartridge revolver with a bored-through cylinder. So Reid manages to sidestep all of the legal kerfuffle, if you will, that goes on for many of the other companies that try unsuccessfully to skirt Rollin White's patent held by Smith & Wesson. So it's an interesting time in arms development and arms history. This is when you see cup fire and teat fire and all of these other different things to try to skirt that patent. But James Reid came up with a really unusual, innovative design and way to skirt that patent. And it worked. It definitely worked and was Certainly one of the more viable ones, I would say. But of course, you know, with Smith & Wesson holding the patent on the truly bored through cylinder and the way that works, none of the other attempts were really ever able to take off and make it to any form of commercial success in the way that Smith & Wesson was able to do it. But nonetheless, it presents a really interesting time in firearms manufacture and in revolver design, patent design, and disputes. Really, really cool guns that we're able to take a look at today, and just a neat piece of 19th century firearms history. Thanks for tuning into this episode of High Caliber History, and thanks to Milestone Auctions for letting me take a look at some of the fantastic pieces that they've got. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you right here on the next episode.